You know what you need to do. You have done the work, read the books. So why aren't you doing it? I'll tell you why. It's because you cannot out habit an identity that doesn't match where you're going. Last video, we covered the three types of self-sabotage: the over-preparer, the perfectionist, and the self-doubter. And maybe you saw yourself in one of them, maybe all three. But self-sabotage, it's not your problem, it's a symptom. In the next 15 minutes, you're going to understand why your habits haven't stuck, why confidence feels so fragile, and what actually needs to shift. And I'm going to show you exactly how to start that shift today. Welcome to The Becoming, the series where we talk about growth, confidence, identity, and the quiet decisions that shape who you become. This is episode 2 of The Becoming. If you haven't watched episode 1, please pause this and go back and watch episode 1 because this one here built. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Here's what most advice gets wrong. Most advice treats you like a machine that needs better programming. Do this morning routine, say these affirmations, think positive, and listen. Habits matter. However, they only work when they match your identity. You will always behave in a way that is consistent with who you believe you are. And I mean always. So, let's talk about identity. Your identity is the story that you tell yourself about who you are. It's that sentence that runs in the back of your mind. I'm the kind of person who, and whatever comes after that sentence, that is what's running your entire life. For the longest, my sentence was, I'm the kind of person who stays quiet. And this is not because I was shy, and it's definitely not because I didn't have anything to say, because I had a whole lot to say. But somewhere along the way, I decided that my voice didn't quite belong in the room, that what I thought wasn't worth the space it'll take up. And here's the thing, I had no idea that sentence was even running. I thought I was being thoughtful, that I was being humble, but I was operating from a story I didn't choose and hadn't questioned. Maybe your sentence sounds like this: I'm the kind of person who plays it safe, or I'm the kind of person who never finishes anything, or I'm the kind of person who's not built for a massive amount of success. You might not say these words out loud, but you're living them. Now, here's why this matters so much. Your brain uses that story as a filter that is going to decide every single decision that you make. You might think that your brain is being cruel to you, but it's not being cruel to you. It is being efficient. It learned who you are, and now it looks for every confirmation that that story is true. So when an opportunity comes up that doesn't match the story, your brain doesn't say go for it. It says it's not for you. Not because it can't happen, because it doesn't match who it thinks you are. And this is what I call the identity gap. It is the distance between who you currently believe you are and who you're trying to become. And when that gap is too wide, everything feels harder. The habits you try to build feel forced. The goals you set feel out of reach, and the decisions you know you need to make, you can't seem to follow through on them. It's not weakness, it's not lack of discipline, it's your brain doing exactly what it's designed to do, keeping you consistent with the identity you've been living from. Your brain isn't wired to help you become someone new, it is wired to keep you consistent with who you already are, which means you are not confused about what you want. You're loyal to who you think you are. This is why willpower doesn't work. This is why you can psych yourself up, walking to that meeting feeling ready, and still freeze up. Not because you're weak, because you're trying to act like someone you don't yet believe you are. And until you update the identity, not just the behavior, every effort feels like fighting yourself. So let me tell you what happened when I finally started to see this in my own life. I tried everything. I was reading the books, I was saying the affirmations, I was showing up consistently, I was doing the work. But I kept wondering why confidence still felt like something that I was performing rather than something that I actually had. And then I realized that I was layering confidence on top of an identity that said that my voice didn't matter. I was trying to build on cracked foundation, and no amount of effort could change what's underneath, because confidence isn't something you build over insecurity. It is what shows up naturally when your identity shifts. You can't confident behavior your way out of an identity that says you're not meant to be heard. The moment I understood that, I stopped pushing through the fear and started asking a different question. Not how do I become more confident, but how do I know that I am? And that question changed everything. So here's what I wish someone had told me when I was stuck in that cycle. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a new strategy. You need to shift from what you believe you are and then let everything else follow from that. And it's not a one-time event. It's not a declaration you make. It's a process. And the process has a shape. Number one, get honest about the story you're living from right now. Not the story you want to be living from, but the one that's actually running your current life. So finish this sentence and be honest. I'm the kind of person who, what comes up, not what you wish came up, what actually comes up. Write it down because you can't change a story you can't see. Most people skip this step because it's uncomfortable, but it's the most important one because you have to name what's there before you can change it to something different. Step 2, choose a direction, not a destination. Here's where most people get tripped up. They try to leap from the story they have now to the fully realized version of who they want to be. And that gap is too wide. The brain can't make the jump because it doesn't have evidence for it. So you feel like a fraud and end up quitting. Instead of saying I'm a confident leader, try I'm becoming someone who speaks up. Not there yet, becoming. That phrasing matters. It's honest, it's believable, and your brain can work with it. This is where the shift actually happens. Not in your head, but in your actions. Because your brain doesn't believe declarations, it believes patterns. Think about it this way. If I told you right now that you're a runner and you haven't ran in 6 months, you wouldn't believe me, would you? You'd say, I'm not a runner. I used to run maybe, but I'm not a runner. However, if you run 3 times this week, even if they're slow runs, even if they're short runs, your brain starts collecting that as data. Oh, maybe I am someone who runs. That's how identity shifts, not through big declarations, through small repeated proof. So what does that actually look like? Let me make it specific. For example, if you're becoming someone who uses her voice, don't start by speaking in a room full of 100 people. Instead, today, share one thought in a group or in a meeting that you would normally stay quiet in. And if you're becoming someone who finishes what she starts, don't commit to a 90-day project. Instead, finish something small this week, one task all the way through. Small bridges, evidence stacking. Your brain believes what you show it, so start showing it who you're becoming. Now, here's a mistake that I see all the time, and I would like to save you from it. A lot of people try to make the leap too fast. Your current identity says that you're someone who doesn't post online. And your new identity says that you're a confident content creator. And the action? I'm gonna post every day. The gap is too wide and your identity can't make that jump. So you post for 3 days, feel like a fraud the whole time, and quit. What you're doing is you're adding another layer to the story that says that you don't follow through. So here's what to do instead. I'm becoming someone who shares her voice online. Today, write a post in your notes app. You don't have to post it, you just write it down. Tomorrow, go over it. If you have to edit it, go ahead and edit it. Next week, show it to one trusted person. Small bridges, and then your brain starts to believe your new story, your new identity. You're not broken. You don't lack discipline, willpower, or confidence. You're just operating from an identity that doesn't match where you're going. An identity, it's flexible. It's a story. You can always rewrite it. Habits will follow, the confidence will follow, but it starts here. This is the becoming where we stop shrinking, stop self-sabotaging, and start showing up as who we're meant to be. Leave a comment down below and tell me 2 things. What is the identity story that you're ready to rewrite? Just one sentence. I used to believe I was the kind of person who I read every single comment, everyone. And if this video helped you, please share with one woman who needs to hear this, because the women around you are watching. And when you break free, you give them permission to do the same. We just talked about how to shift your identity. And maybe you're thinking, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to do the work. I'm ready to build evidence. And that's exactly right. But here's what most women do the moment their identity starts to shift. They do something quietly that unravels all of it without even realizing it. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. Because I don't want you doing all this work, making real progress, and then losing it to something that you didn't see coming. Subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you don't miss out on the next episode. I love you and thank you so much for being here with me today. I can't wait to see you all in the next episode.